day 2 of VLOGMAS, and I am trying to be consistent. So I just got to work about 5 minutes ago. We have to be here by 8:15, and it's like 8:10 right now, and I left my camera at home. So I will be filming on my phone today, and we're just going to see how it goes. But I had the whole plan. I was going to come in, show you what I'm going to do this morning, and take you through my morning routine. But I don't have my camera, so we'll just make the best of it. So the first thing is my co-teacher's not feeling well, so I don't know if she's going to show up today. So I have to make the copies for my first and third blocks homework. Second block got theirs yesterday because they are considered an honors class. Every summer I come in and I try to pick students who have passed the state test over the years, place them in the class and call them honors. And they don't know how they got here. Sometimes they don't want to be here, but we all know that we succeed and we can thrive in a class where we're like-minded, okay? So I do believe in tiering my students, because if I'm having discipline issues or students who are not catching on, then the students that can advance are stagnant. And so I know they want us to be able to multitask and differentiate, but come on, this is the real world. We're coming off an entire virtual year, and I have to sit here and try to manage all these different levels. It doesn't always work. So with that being said, I have all of them in one class, and they are doing wonderful. My first and third block are a little slower, so I have to slow it down for them, and I just think it works for me. And so my district is very understanding. The counselors work with me, and I get at least one class a semester that we can pull kids and place them together, and then the other ones are dispersed through those classes. So I'm going to make the copies for their homework. I was doing an online homework plan, which is iExcel. I love it, but the students are not doing it, and I even typed up the list. They was checking it off, so they had paper, but I still wasn't seeing what I wanted to see, and then sometimes the questions were not what they needed for the SOL. So now I'm in remediation mode, and I am preparing them for SOLs. And SOLs are standards of learning in the state of Virginia. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And their lesson today is direct and inverse variation. And so I will be using our, I call it workbook. Interactive notebook is what we used to call it. I don't know what it is now, because I don't do anything interactive in it. It's just my direct instruction. So today I have a couple of things I want to do. I want to go back. I do a, let me just go back. I do a 45-minute remediation before we do the class, and our lights go out because they're on a sensor because I'm not moving around the room. But the lighting looks pretty good. We're just going to roll with it. And so they will do a review page on slope, which is the equations of a line. And so they will do slope and slope-intercept, slope from a graph, slope from standard form, a point slope where they'll get a point in a slope and have to write the equations of a line. They'll be given 2 points, and they'll have to determine the slope and then also write the equation of a line. Then we'll talk about parallel and perpendicular lines, where parallel have the same slope and perpendicular are what? Negative reciprocal. So they'll go back and get a problem for each one of those, and they'll work it for like a little quiz. And then we'll flip over to directed inverse, and then all I have is quadratics, and I'll be finished teaching algebra, but that still would take me until Christmas. And so we have an overview page, and then we get into our practice and modeling questions. We'll do direct, and then we'll do inverse, and then they'll have a set of questions that they go through and answer on their own. And then tomorrow or Monday, because I think I'm gonna give them a test on tomorrow, they'll do the word problems for direct and inverse variation. So that is what I'm doing today. I'm getting ready for class. Also, I'm homeschooling my student. I've been her teacher for 5 years, and we're now preparing for the GED. and her mom just decided that. So I ordered a book off of Amazon, and I will be seeing how this book works. So I'll be using this in my instruction. I've been her homeschool teacher since she was in the 5th grade. We work 4 days a week, 3 hours a day. She does her homework while I'm in school, and then in the afternoons, she does her lesson. So it works for us. She's doing wonderful, making great progress, and I'm very, very proud of that. So I'll be working from the GED book this afternoon because I tutored with her for 3 hours. Also, I need to update my plans. I am currently using the iPad Pro 2021. I'm also using the iPad Pro 2020, and I did get the iPad Mini 6, and I have the Mini 5. I've sold a few of my iPads, but every one that comes out, I want them. We'll be doing an upcoming video on all things technology because your girl loves a good tablet, and I want it to be fast. So I hope I can pick up the camera. I might be able to show you some footage. I was going to film my third block because they're very cooperative. They love being on the camera. They participate. They just come alive. And so I thought I would show you that class and some of the things that I do, but I left the camera at home, and it kind of be hard to film them with my phone. So maybe tomorrow I can get a little footage, and definitely next week, to show you some things that we do in the classroom. So
my apologies. I couldn't hear what you said. Sorry. Could you say that again?
She's always interrupting me. All right, guys. I'll see you soon. Okay, guys. I'm back to close out this vlog. It is the second day. I want you to know it took me forever to get that first one uploaded, but we finally got that done, and so we should have the first video up. Make sure you go and watch it. I'm recording no matter what happens. I'm just going to be consistent and do what I said that I was going to do. I am in our teacher pod, and I am making copies for tomorrow. It is 7:37. I just finished homeschooling my student in California. I have tutored, and I have taught 3 classes a day, so a girl's tired. But I do want to take you over to my desk once I get these things copied and show you what we'll be doing tomorrow and a little bit of what we did today. So I hope you had a great day, and just wait a minute. We're going to go take a look at a few things, and then we're going to close out the vlog. Okay, guys, here we go. We're just going to take a quick look at what we did today and what I plan on doing tomorrow. So this is my interactive notebook that I showed you yesterday that I created over the summer, and my principal had it bound for us. And so with that being said, today we said we were going to look at direct and inverse variation, but we also was going to review equation of a line. So I gave them some problems that I pulled from different worksheets or online, or I just made up. Sorry, should have had this set. And so we did the slope and y-intercept. So I told them if you had a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of -3, how would you write the equation? If you were given a graph, you have to count to determine slope. And so then they drew positive, you count up and right. If you have negative, you count down and right, and then 0 and undefined. If you were given standard form, you have to determine your M and your B. You also could use Desmos for that. And so we determined our A and B. But we also went over to Desmos, 2x minus 3y equals 6. 2x minus 3y equals 6. Now, if you couldn't use the formula that I did teach, then you can determine that this is a positive slope, and you also can see that it crosses at -2. And so Desmos really does. You just type in exactly what you see on the paper, and then you look at the line, and you can see that it crosses at -2, and it's a positive slope. So if we go back, and these are the things that we did in class, that even if you couldn't use the formula, you could just do A over B, and we know that it's positive because it was going up and to the right. And then we knew it crossed at -2, and we could write the slope-intercept equation. And we just went through examples and how we could use Desmos to help us. And then we left parallel and perpendicular lines to go over next week, because they really do need to master the other formulas and equations before we look at parallel and perpendicular lines. So even though I taught the skill and they've already reviewed it, but we'll go over that again after they test on this top part. Then we went over, and they did really well to direct and inverse variation. They actually were really good, and they were able to work the problem. So we learned that direct variation, the constant is a ratio of y over x. And then we went on to look at if we divide y by x, we could determine if there was a constant variation. And we could also write the equation for direct variation. And then we learned that the graph goes through the origin, which is 0, 0. And then we went to Desmos and typed these in to see if these were direct variation. And the last thing we did was inverse. So we did the exact same thing. Now my honors class went on to work these 2 pages by themselves as independent practice. And then my first and third block didn't get through it all with enough time to work those problems. So they'll get to those next week. And then Monday or Tuesday, I'll go over the word problems for direct and inverse variation. Now, what I have decided to do tomorrow is give them another assessment. And remember, I was on my little rampage last night about how they only got 1 to 2 problems right on the test. So we created another Fix It Friday, and I just call them Fix It Friday, and we're on week 2. And so I'm giving them 30 more questions. I give it to them in presentation mode, and then they have an answer sheet, and they get Desmos slides that they will put their answers on, okay? And so they will work through these problems, and they do the work on the skills. And they're doing virtual. The kids actually wrote on here, but they had asynchronous time. We just don't have enough time for them to try to be typing and screenshotting. So we just get them to write the information on our sheet. So they put the skill here in the first box, which goes along with the skill and keywords. They put the strategy in the second box, so that's what they would do here. Work or screenshot, we don't have to have that because we put the work and the strategy in the middle box. And then we put the final answer or the solution in the last box. So we kind of combine the second and third box into one long rectangle. Okay, and so as you can see, I've created 30 slides reviewing everything that I've covered in line with the Virginia SOLs. And then they'll work these 30 problems. And the goal is 15. So we'll actually write beside our name, goal 15 questions. And the reason I number them so they can work them out of order. Okay, they go find me 15 questions they can work. And then when they do their test corrections, that's only a 50. They get to use their notes, and then they'll get the other half during that time. So in the past, that has really worked for me. So we'll see if they made any improvements, and you'll get to see those scores next week to see if they did any improvement. Maybe Saturday I'll go through, or Sunday when I usually try to grade and see if I'm happy. Because I told them they need to make me happy. And lastly, I wanted to show you that they'll get their homework, because I told you I wasn't giving them iExcel homework anymore. And they'll use these sheets to record their work for their homework for the weekend. And they'll get 16 problems. And we have those already uploaded, but I'm giving it 2 pages at a time into our Google Classroom. And this is something I bought on Teachers Pay Teachers. And I uploaded. It's called the 8-ball, right? And then it didn't come like this. This is the 8-ball. So we did translating and evaluating. And then we did binomials and polynomials. And then they'll get tomorrow roots and radicals, or roots, square roots and cube roots. And they'll also do solving equations, okay? And then the next day they'll get 2 more, solving inequalities and graphing linear equations and inequalities. And so I'll just take them through all the skills 2 at a time, and then we're going to test again on Friday. All right, guys, that's it. I did my best. It's day 2. We made it through another day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up. If not, come back tomorrow and see how the kids did on the test. And it's also the weekend, so we're excited. Y'all have a good night. The lights are out, so it's time to go.